you feeling about Pennsylvania?
I am feeling very good about Pennsylvania because there are a lot of people in Pennsylvania who deserve to be seen and heard. That's why I'm here in Johnstown. And I will be continuing to travel around the state to make sure that I'm listening as much as we are talking. And ultimately, I feel very strongly that we've got to earn every vote. Yes. And that means spending time with folks in the communities where they live.
All right, everybody, hold your horses, buckle up your seats, because apparently Kamala Harris has finally done a solo one-on-one sit-down interview where Tim Walz is not there to hold her hand. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, aren't we impressed? Well, don't get too impressed, because I have a little bit of a spoiler for you here. First of all, it is only 11 minutes long. It is with a local news station in Philadelphia, and yet it is still an unmitigated disaster. So I figure since it's not that long, we will just sit down and react to it. So folks, if you enjoy the content, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. And here is Kamala Harris, once again, just not answering questions. And you know it's bad when, you know, I think she did this partially with the local news station, so that way she could say that she did an interview without too many eyeballs on it. But ladies and gentlemen, we absolutely notice. Okay, take a listen.
Madam Vice President, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for your time today. Our audience appreciates your time as well.
Of course.
As you know, we're sitting here in a state and arguably in front of an audience that 54 days from now could decide the outcome of this presidential election. You hear it more than I do. People want to know more about you and about your specific plans.
Yes.
At the debate the other night, you talked about creating an opportunity economy. I wonder if we can drill down on that a little bit. When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager.
Okay, here we go once again. Okay, she did this exact thing in the debate. They asked her, what is your economic plan? Well, how was a middle-class child growing up? Nobody cares. What is your economic plan? All right, let's see what she says. Let's see what she says.
I grew up in a community of hardworking people, you know, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, you know, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn, you know, and
wow, they were proud of their lawn, you know? You know, yeah, I'm one of those regular people like you, you know, yeah. Hello, fellow human beings, hello. My gosh. My God, we're 1 minute, 13 seconds in. This is already a disaster, okay?
And I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity. And that we as Americans have a beautiful character. You know, we have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions. So when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business. My mother, you know, worked long hours, and our neighbor helped raise us. We used to call her, I still call her, our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small business owners. I learned who they are. How
is this real? Okay, it's like, you know, all the training she did for the debate, she could have just copied some of those talking points. I mean, this is so, like, transparently bad. He even points out in the opening question, he's like, okay, so, you know, you didn't really articulate what this means. What does it mean? She gives the biggest word salad. And so obviously here, how much more obvious can it get that she is trying to dodge the question? This has to be genuinely like one of the worst interviews I've seen, even from her. This is horrible. From my childhood. And she was a community leader. She hired locally. She mentored. Our small businesses are so much a part of the fabric of our communities, not to mention, really, I think, the backbone of America's economy. So my opportunity economy plan includes... Okay, let's hear it.
Giving startups a $50,000 tax deduction to start their small business. It used to be $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. But investing in people's innovative ideas and giving them the ability to go for it. Opportunity economy means...
So it took her almost 2 minutes to get to what she was actually going to do. And what she's proposing is, wait for it, cutting taxes. Wow. Where have I heard that idea before? I wonder who else in this campaign kind of got to that one first, right?
I mean, a lot of it has to do with just the community I was raised in and the people that I admired who work hard, and deserve to have, their dreams fulfilled because they're prepared to work for it.
What is she even saying? I mean, this is just so bad. This is just awful.
At the debate and at previous appearances about turning the page on the past. And in fact, here today in Johnstown, you're talking about a new way forward. Yeah. I think some people have a question, given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States, how different you are from Joe Biden. And so I wonder if there are one or two spots, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And, I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work.
Wait. So remember a couple months ago, she said that Bidenomics was working? That's Bidenomics. I'm proud of the accomplishments. They asked her, where are you different on the issues from Joe Biden? She's now saying the economy. What? You spent so many years saying that you were proud of Bidenomics. Now you're not? The more flip,
And maybe focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing that at this moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore. For example, another plan that I have that is a new approach is to expand the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families. By
the way, this idea is stolen from J.D. Vance, so just going to casually point that out.
The first year of their child's life, because that is obviously a very critical stage of development of a child. And a lot of young parents need the help to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes for their kids. And so my approach is about new ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment. And also, to be very honest with you, my focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20 years to catch up to the 21st century around, again, capacity, but also challenges.
What? What is she talking about? God, this is just so unbelievable. You can clearly tell, like, the debate, they had her rehearse the script for several weeks, and that's why she kind of had something to say, although it was the same platitudes. But here, you can tell, even with the empty answers, she really did not rehearse them, and that's why this is just so brutal to listen to. What is she even talking about? What is she even saying?
Crime and public safety are two major issues. Right at the forefront of voters' minds, in Philadelphia as well, where crime is a significant issue. When we talk about crime, the conversation turns to gun safety as well. And I think you actually probably caught a lot of people off guard, maybe a bit by surprise in the debate the other night when you mentioned that you are a gun owner. I know you said it in 2019 as well. I want to talk about your values on this issue. When it comes to gun ownership, where do you draw the line in America on gun ownership and gun use?
Well, like you said, Brian, I am a gun owner, and Tim Walz, my running mate, is also a gun owner. We're not taking anybody's guns away. I support the Second Amendment, and I support reasonable gun safety laws. Part of my approach to this is I was a career prosecutor for most of my career. I have personally prosecuted homicide cases.
So here we go again. She answers a policy question with an anecdotal story about her own life. Okay, it's getting comical at this point. It really is.
I have personally looked at autopsies. I have personally seen what assault weapons do to the human body. And so I feel very strongly that it is consistent with the Second Amendment and your right to own a gun to also say, We need an assault weapons ban. They're literally tools of war.
So you do want to take away people's guns. Okay, just to be clear.
They were literally designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly. I say we need universal background checks. The majority of NRA members support that. Why? Because it's just reasonable. You just might want to know before someone can buy a lethal weapon if they've been found by a court to be a danger to themselves or others. You just might want to know.
Two final questions, if I might.
Sure.
On the appeal of the man you were running against, as you drove here today, you likely saw a lot of Trump signs. He has an historic appeal in this country. And as you are someone running against him and trying to understand that, I wonder how you distill it. What do you understand his appeal to be? And how do you speak to his voters, or maybe people who just share his values but are open to something else?
Okay, I'm curious here. Let's hear.
Based on experience and a lived experience, no. In my heart, I know, in my soul, I know that the vast majority of us as Americans have so much more in common than what separates us. And I also believe that I am accurate in knowing that most Americans want a leader who brings us together as Americans and not someone who professes to be a leader who is trying to have us point our fingers at each other. I think people are exhausted with that approach, to be honest with you. I think people want a leader who has common sense and tries to find common ground. And I think that just makes us stronger and more healthy as a country to say, look, we can all debate our differences around, various policies, but let's stop with the division. Like, enough of that. Let's bring everybody together.
Another answer where I really can't figure out, I can't pin down what exactly she's saying, okay? This interview cannot be real, okay? This is like the Saturday Night Live sketch of what you talk about when it's Kamala Harris, like how she's empty and it's all platitudes and it's all nothing, This is like a prime example of it.
And finally, as you introduce yourself to America in a new way, they've heard much of your story at the Democratic National Convention and in that debate earlier this week. If there's one thing that you wish Americans knew about who Kamala Harris is that you don't think they know yet, what would that be?
I don't know. I mean, probably it's not very different from anybody watching right now. I love my family. One of my favorite things that I lately have not been able to do is Sunday family dinner. I love to cook.
Okay.
I have
Thank you for
incredible
that.
friends. My best friend from kindergarten is still my best friend.
Wow. What an answer. What? Dear gosh. By the way, I think it's really funny. The interviewer is like, what do you want Americans to know about you that they don't know? Nobody knows anything about Kamala Harris, okay? Like, literally nobody knows anything. So you should actually be giving your entire life story, essentially, in this interview. But
I think that, I have a career that really, and I said it the other day, as a career prosecutor, I never asked a victim of crime, were they a Republican or a Democrat. The only thing I ever asked them is, are you okay? And I think that's the approach that most Americans want, regardless of who they voted for in the last election, in terms of turning the page and charting a new way forward.
I imagine you're looking forward to cooking Sunday dinner again.
I am looking forward. Yes, I am looking forward to cooking. With the whole family gets involved, the kids each have their role. Yeah.
wow. I mean, just wow. I really thought when I saw the ABC Joe Biden interview after the debate on June 27th, I thought to myself, it could not get worse, okay? And by the way, there's no way that Kamala Harris can ever rival just how bad Joe Biden was at the end. I don't know. That kind of gives it a run for its money, doesn't it? I mean, that genuinely has to be one of the worst interviews I think I've ever seen, especially when you contextualize that, like, the whole central premise of the interview is that you are dodging questions. You're not really talking about what you stand for. and you double down on that, you become even more vague and like ambiguous on everything than even you used to be. I'm appalled. I'm appalled that this really happened, but yeah, it really did. And by the way, Kamala Harris's best friend from kindergarten is still her best friend, right, ladies and gentlemen? A real round of applause there. Okay, I don't know what else to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But yeah, Kamala Harris, first ever solo interview. I think you can see why they do not want Kamala Harris to do solo interviews. That said, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Leave a like on this video, subscribe if you are new. And until next time, God bless and peace.